Happy New Year, After Buzzers. You are watching the Jane the Virgin After Show. We are back and excited for Chapter 52. We'll be discussing tonight. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right. Let's bring a little Bette Midler in this because we had a little bit of meddling in there. Yeah? Happy New Year, After Buzzers. We are back for Jane the Virgin. It is Chapter 52 that we will be discussing tonight. I am your host, Stephanie Giorgi. You can follow me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi. But before that, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Go to iTunes, SoundCloud, rate us 5 stars, leave us comments, let us know what you think. Tonight, I will be hosting with the fantastic Francesca Dugan. Dugan, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find Dugans in Ireland. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at XOXOCheska.
So there's been quite a gap.
I know, I hated the hiatus.
So, we're going to kind of ease our way into it, but there was quite a few things that happened. A little bit of events here going on in this episode back. We are going to start with, actually, what would you like to start with?
Should we just briefly recap?
Last, please.
Okay, so these were my questions at the end of the last episode that we filmed. It was, what is Scott up to? Mm-hmm. Will Zoe realize she really wants Ro? Whoa, that took a turn this episode. Right. And is Kat really a cousin, or like what is she up to? So
right. All good questions.
Very good questions.
More or less answered, if not made us question it even more.
Oh yes.
Yeah. We'll start with Xiomara then. She is back with Bruce, whom was someone that she had an affair with 3 years prior to now, mm-hmm. and he was still married. She knew that, but he never left his wife. And Jane remembers all the breakups, which is why we were listening to Bette Midler, because that was her song during these fights and stuff. And then in this episode, she's okay with Bruce. Apparently Bruce has changed and he divorced his wife because he felt that he was unhappy and he missed her, and now they're together. But
I like that they cleared that it was because he realized that he was unhappy and that marriage wasn't happy, and it wasn't like, oh, I broke up with her because of Zoe.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel
salvage it just a little bit.
I hate to say this, but I hear that when I forget which movie I was watching, but it's when someone said that when couples are having an affair, the marriage is going well.
What?
But during the affair. Because the other one that's having the affair is happy. Does that make sense?
I can see.
Yeah, they were saying that that's when everything seems to be going all right because they're coming home and they're more, I don't know, just enthusiastic about life. I'm not sure.
I don't know. That, yeah. I mean, that I can see that, mm-hmm. but then I can see both sides because then you want to spend more time with someone that you're happier with. But that's interesting, mm-hmm. because it makes sense because say you're unhappy in your relationship. And so you go out and you cheat, which is not good, mm-hmm. But you do, and then you're finally fulfilling whatever you were missing. So then essentially you are happier in the marriage, except it's just not with the other person.
Well, I'm assuming the reason why people say that is because it's more or less having your cake and eat it too.
I like being a fatty, but that's the one time you can't do it. You know
exactly. I agree. Well. So then we see that after he isn't with Xiomara anymore, he realizes that he's super unhappy, and then that's when he can't do it anymore. And he divorces his wife, then he runs into Xiomara again because she opens up a studio next to his office, right. Which, I mean, dang, if that's not meant to be.
I was about to say that, is that not some sort of weird random fate?
If I was in Xiomara's position, I think I would absolutely say the same. Maybe, I don't know, how did it just happen this way? Maybe it's a sign.
Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes you meet people that are supposed to be in your life just at the wrong timing.
Yeah, I know. But now the roles have switched because Xiomara is being hated on by Tess, whom has a very, very poor language. Tess is Bruce's daughter, whom is 16, and now she sees...
Who runs the Gap, apparently.
Yeah, seriously. She sees Xiomara the way that Jane saw Bruce.
Right. And it's understandable because she's coming from the... Jane's mom's been single her whole time that Jane grew up, and Tess grew up with a family, and now it's broken up. So mm-hmm. I can understand her feelings. I don't know though.
Well, I think.
Well, you're 16,
right? Yeah, that's what it is. Remember being a teenager. Remember, being about your mom, and then having something like this happen after seeing your parents get divorced. You don't care about no other female about it. Oh, I remember watching Stepmom with my family, and my mom and dad were like joking with us. We're like, oh, you know, if we get a divorce, you better not treat your stepmom poorly because that's not right.
You're like, wait a minute.
I was like, what? I'll effing kill her, like, you know. So yes, we get really sentimental about it, especially if you're a daddy's girl. So that kind of sucks. But otherwise, that's kind of what happens there. Jane has a little breakthrough because she goes to visit Tess, which is when we see that she's really rude and disrespectful.
It reminded me of like Mean Girls, but retail edition.
Yes, and really, Gina was funny when she was like, oh, girls, language.
I like that you called her Gina.
I know.
And not Jane. It's like, what did her Starbucks coffee say? I love that they did that because Starbucks, it's like they never can get your name right. And
yeah. I mean, now it's just like a token thing.
Right.
Actually, can you mention quickly? Actually, no. I lied. We're going to save it for news and gossip.
What I was talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Something unrelated to what we're waiting for later.
Well, we're doing it telepathy right now. Go ahead.
I just forgot.
It's okay. We'll continue then.
Oh, no, I remember. It was about Starbucks and names. You know how Aneska has like a Z in her name?
And they say Aneska?
Right. Oh. I've had my name spelled with a Z like
Francesca.
A handful of times at Starbucks or Jamba Juice. And I'm like,
Francesca. Oh, yeah. Francesca. I don't have
whatever. Anyways.
Okay, so then we have, let's see. And then Michael. Michael is in a bit of a rut right now because he didn't pass his physical. They're making him stay at his desk, and he's miserable, so he wants to find a new career path and then decides on stand-up comedy. So I hang around with the toddler, right? I'm just kidding, right? I know stand-up is really hard. I have a friend of mine, shout out Tony Klein. You're really a funny comic, but it's a tough job.
It's so hard.
And I've been there, and my buddy who I was just talking about would take me and stuff. And one time he made me do stand-up at Haha Cafe, and I wrote my jokes down on a napkin.
I wish I would have seen this.
Yes, and he made
Is this
me
on
feel
video
like
anywhere?
I was so funny. No, thank God.
Oh my gosh.
I promise you. This is what happened. I had the napkin in my hand, and Michael stayed quiet, but I was like, oh my God. And I that was the first thing I said. I was like, look at my hand right now. And I've never shaken so hard in my life.
And you could hear it like on the microphone?
Yeah. But it was a napkin, so you didn't hear it, but you saw the napkin going, yeah. And for those of you who are not watching and only listening, I am holding a little piece of paper and moving it, which you can hear, but it's more of a visual thing. Anyways, that was my experience. So I applaud Michael for attempting it.
So how did it go? I have to know.
Oh, it was horrible. It was all male comics that were there. It wasn't even really an audience, so they were just like, what?
What is?
And I was the only female.
You're like, hey!
It resulted in me telling my deepest, darkest secrets on stage because I thought it would be funny. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, comedy is very hard.
Yes.
Either you have it or you don't.
Right.
But also there's so many different types of comedy. So you could be funny to one group of people and not to another people.
You have
as long as you don't resort to being really nasty. That's what I hate about comedians, when they're not funny, so they just start being nasty and you kind of laugh because you're really uncomfortable.
Well, I wasn't funny, so I resulted in being really truthful, and I was like,
you're all crying on stage.
Everyone knows my secrets now. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So yeah, Michael didn't do too well himself, but at least he had the experience, and that was that.
At least he had his family there to support him.
Yeah, and his buzz.
Dude, that thing was so annoying.
It was annoying. Moving on, we have Petra's storyline. Or actually, no, I'm going to talk about that later. We have Rogelio.
Oh,
no,
Rogelio? Okay.
No, because those are my two favorite ones. I want to say for the end.
Say the best for last.
Rogelio is trying to have a baby with Darcy, who was part of the matchmaking company that he went to find someone. And they seem to be very compatible, want all the same things for their children. And then he introduces them to Xiomara. Xiomara started hating. I mean,
because she still really loves him.
This answers your question here, where she has some sort of a jealousy. But, it's funny because, I always argue that I see the chemistry between the characters on the show, and I can't help but see Raph and Jane have chemistry. Right. Xiomara definitely did have some with Bruce.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like, she loves Ro, and I think they're always going to have that special love, and I do feel like it could come back. It's kind of the same way I feel with, like, Jane and Rafael. Who knows? It could come back around later. We don't know. But they're always going to love them because they hold a special place in their heart. They're both the father of their children.
Right.
Rafael's the father of Jane's. Rogelio is the father of Xiomara's child.
They're going to be in their lives.
So it's going to be, but they did have chemistry, and it seems like they're going good, like we were talking about. But I would be kind of like, if this is his only child, my baby daddy's only child is my child, and now he wants to have a kid with someone, I'd be in the same exact spot. Yeah,
I agree. But fortunately, we have our sweet abuelita Alba, whom I've been saying whom a lot, and I feel like I haven't been using it in the right context, so forgive me if I haven't been. But who was being very supportive and kind of gave her perspective by saying that the Villanueva family has never had a traditional way of having babies, so who is she to have an opinion? Ooh, I love that. Nice.
That is so
Get it, Alba.
true. Yes.
Yeah. So then Xiomara calms down. She goes to Darcy, talks to her, lets her know that it's okay and I am supportive and that if you guys want to do it, you can and it will work. But then maybe it won't, because we see Rogelio get a
boing.
Yeah.
You did that whistle really well.
Thank you.
I'm all like...
Pia, pia. That's what that sounded like. He gets a renop.
What?
It's boner spelled backwards. We used to say that in high school. In middle school. We're like, renop. Yeah.
I've never heard that. I'm so amused right now. Yeah, I'm highly amused.
He got one of those bad boys, and it was because he was looking at Darcy, which then later says to her, I think I've been growing feelings for you. And she's like, well, you can't have any feelings if you want to have a baby with me.
I know. So when she said that, I was like, wow, okay, she's really sticking to this plan of co-parenting. But we see the previews for next week that they're like on some sort of like date or something like that. I'm like, oh no, is this going to become like a love triangle? Ooh, I just thought of a good question. I don't have a pen. But, there we go.
Write it down. Just go ahead.
I'll write it down for predictions. Okay.
Well, continue what you were going to say, though. Oh, you can't. Just write the question down then. Okay, so then I'll continue. So she says that she can't have the baby with him, and then we're left off just there. I'm just wondering, though, if that will make it so that they don't have the baby together, and then Bruce accepts Tess's ultimatum of not being with you. Oh, no, they bonded again, so maybe that's not going to happen.
They bonded over making fun of Jane.
Yeah. How unhinged. What do you mean?
Because she's a little biznatch. She's a little hoe bag.
No, but what does she meant that Jane was so unhinged?
Well, probably just like
because, how she was, or she seemed like she was okay, or because she seemed like she was a mess?
No, I think the girl probably was like, oh my God, you know who came to my store?
Yeah.
And messed up my folded t-shirts?
Right? We're little brats. Young girls watching right now, please don't ever be that disrespectful to your elders, because it's just not a good look. And we're not allowed to touch you, so otherwise you would get slapped in the real world.
Also, don't be working when you're 16. Enjoy your time off, dude. You're in school.
But make that money if you need to. No, you're right, actually. Touche. Okay, now for the good ones.
Pew, pew.
Okay, there's 2 BITCHs in this episode. Kata and Petra, but Kata is winning this one for me, so we'll save her for last. Petra is super paranoid, and with reason.
Oh my God, dude, Petra.
I don't know.
Right.
She's freaky. Remember, so here's the thing with Petra. She was the villain, and then we loved her again, and we were excited, and then the CW said, oh wait, no, she's the villain. Remember that? And now they're reminding us. So she's paranoid, and now she's just trying to catch up Raph because of the money scandal that he did with Scott.
Well, I'm still not even sure what that whole thing was.
Well, that was from before, because it was the last episode. They tricked her out of something, and to be perfectly honest, forgive me, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, they tricked her out of shares, or they were trying to trick her out of shares.
Because she was trying to play them right after she got out of the coma, just because she was so angry. So then she pretends to be Aneshka, and then see Scott and trick him into saying, no, it's okay.
Like, I literally hit my palm on my head. Like, how did I not see that coming? Because literally since Aneshka's been on the show, they have been switching them. And like, we just saw half of, last, part of the season was her in bed pretending to be, or not by choice, obviously. And then why would I ever think that she would never pull this card again?
Right. It's ridiculous. I can't believe that there's an evil twin in this, and Petra's the evil twin.
She's
Even though
still
Aneshka
the evil
did
twin.
all the dumb things, but she was just naive.
Just dumb.
Yes.
Oh, my beautiful sister.
I know. I hate her accent. I just feel bad, though, too, because how did she get... That was weird that they just jumped into Scott and Aneska because Scott never got that explanation. So what happened? She just quickly was like, explained to her that that's what it was?
Yeah, they definitely left out that part, but I guess it doesn't really seem relevant
because
in the grand scheme of
he was crying about Petra before.
Right. So did she, like, randomly...
was like, hey, it's Petra's sister, and I was actually the one that you were in love with because, I don't know, who knows.
Meet me in the alley. Like, I don't know how it went down, but it went down. And so now Petra, this little biznatch, I thought it was weird when she came to Rafael's hotel room and was, like, touching everything, but they obviously made it look like she was turning on the lights because it was dark. But I was like, something's kind of weird. I'm like, I guess too. It's just dark. It was she's turning on the lights.
Yeah, it was very blocked, like choreographed.
Oh, yes. But she just bugged the shit out of that place.
Dang it. And when she's like, and don't underestimate what I would do. There's nothing she wouldn't.
Dude, we already know she's been like you said, we've hated her pretty much majority of all 3 seasons so
That's
far.
why you can't trust people, because they really do have their past, and you might meet somebody when they just happen to be on a good whim.
Right?
You know? But they can just go back to evil real quick. It's scary.
0 to 100 real quick.
Watch. And if you have twins for friends, watch them even more carefully.
Oh, heck yes.
Okay. Okay, so then now we're going to see what happens and how Petra decides to ruin Raf's life, which I'm assuming, well, it's going to have to do with, you know, Raf finding out that he's adopted and not necessarily part of the...
Well, yeah, so
the will. The will said that it should go to his biological children.
Right, and it was a... I don't know what they called it, an amendment to the will. Is that what they called it? And, you know, he randomly found it because he's going through the stuff because he was the one that was in charge of his father's storage, remember? So really, like she said, oh, you're the lawyer or whatever, you're the only one who knows about this, like, keep it that way. He should have just...
Never said anything.
Never said anything. Because now, little pesky Petra has this bugged and knows that... So I'm just, obviously she's gonna.
Yeah.
She's not gonna do anything that's gonna benefit her. She's just gonna do something that's gonna hurt Rafael.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we know how that goes. Now now it's a matter of how bad it's gonna be and who it's gonna affect. Ay, Dios mío. Now, and then we have Catalina. I am so mad at this woman right now because. The only thing I can think of right now, I'm like, because she's pretty. No, but I mean, because she is so pretty, though, that's why she kind of gets away with a lot, you know? Yeah. You just get so... You know, like, you don't even have words. And her face when she smirks and the way that she shut the door at the end.
She's like, bye, bitch.
And because she's just so used to lying and getting her way, just makes me so mad.
Obviously she's up to something. She got caught because Jane kind of pushed herself into the room, and we see her husband, Arnold, or whatever the name is. It's like Arnold. Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, I'm just kidding. Arnold, whatever. And, you know, I did you notice how she was, like, pushing him out of the room and saying these things, and he was just kind of like, what? And so I knew whatever she was saying wasn't really necessarily valid.
Yeah.
It was just like she's just saying things, and he's
just
going
doing
with
it right.
Yeah.
And listen, well, he could
be in on it too.
I thought that also when I saw his face when she was like, go, and he's like, okay, obviously she's up to something. And if they were married, they probably did fall in love, and he probably understood her quickly and just gets it.
Or they might be tag teaming on whatever's going down.
That too, absolutely. And especially because she said that he has a title but not a penny to his name.
Right.
She mentions that. So possibly they could have done some research and was like, oh my gosh, actually I have this cousin in Miami whose baby father is super rich. If we go in there, you know, who knows?
Right.
Anyway, so that really sucks. And then I get even more mad because Jane is trying to be this good person and is trying not to meddle, so she doesn't meddle the first time. Then she meddles the second time because Raf asks her to. Then Raf disregards it and gets back with Kata. And it just makes me mad because she calls Jane so angry. And I hate how people get like that. They're so manipulative in regard, like, she knows she's doing something wrong, but she's trying to switch it up. Like, you could tell it's just it's her demeanor. It's who she is, and she's used to it.
I want to know what Kat said to Rafael that made him...
Who knows? again, I want to slap that woman in her face so bad, just from that last scene, the way she shut the door. I don't know. And women, I've mentioned this before, I believe, on this show. In the movie Drive Me Crazy, have I mentioned?
Drive Me Crazy?
Drive Me Crazy with Melissa Joan Hart and Adrian.
Oh, I don't think I saw it.
Okay, well, there's a part
Adrian
Grenier, the guy from
Entourage?
Yes.
I'm binge watching that right now.
Yes. And so excuse me, in the movie Drive Me Crazy, she says, she's talking to him, Adrian, his character, Chase, that there's a difference between the way women compete and the way that men compete. And for men, it's all, physical and objective because it's kind of things that you see. Whereas for women, it's very articulate and all about the mind. It's beauty, it's an art, because we get in people's heads and we make things seem a certain way, and that's what just frustrates me so much, because I obviously fall in that category. I am also a woman, and that's okay. That's what part of our power. However, that's why you get so angry when you see it happening. You're like, nah, girl, you don't fool me, but you're fooling everybody else.
I think, yeah, it's just our nature to be like so analytical and figure things out. That was not a hair of mine. That was really weird. Yeah, so guys are just so blinded sometimes.
I know.
But, yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, and honestly, it could just be that Raph was feeling lonely after that little incident.
Petra.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the Will thing, because he doesn't know Petra knows.
Right. And could have just called over for help, or the same way Catalina thought of something so quickly when Jane saw the jewels and the money. I'm sure she thought of something else and went to Raph to talk to her about it. That it was just a friendly kiss, and that I promise you that it's over. And I understand that Jane isn't that way, but I am that way. Whatever.
I'm from all over the world. That's how we do it all over the world.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, you're not in Venezuela. You're in Miami, and relax. Okay. So that about sums up what happens in this episode. And then next week, the only thing that we see is something going on between Rogelio and Darcy again. But before we get into predictions, I'd like to go into news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
More of a gossip. Recently in Los Angeles, we had a women's march, and it was quite lovely. And tonight,
huge.
It was huge. It was huge everywhere that they had the women's march.
All over the world.
All over the world. We appreciate women, and we're so happy that you did it. I meant to wear my Fight Like a Girl shirt tonight, but I didn't. But I liked tonight. Francesca peeped out something in the show.
Yeah, when they were, I forgot what they were even talking about, but who was it? They were like, I'm with her.
Oh, about Xiomara or Alba or someone. You're right.
That totally kills it. But they said, I'm with her, and then the narrator said, or at least with the popular votes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh.
Right.
That's just a little political.
It was just funny to catch
jab that they put in there. Yeah.
I'm just happy that it did it, because Jane the Virgin definitely represents a female, female strength and courage, and like that type of a show, to
especially minorities.
Yeah, one on top of another.
Right.
Two things that is not really in our favor right now. But otherwise, I love that, so that's really great. And then that was all for the news, and that's all for our gossip. Predictions.
Ding, ding, ding.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Wow, that was quite long. Yeah, that was nice. Okay, so predictions for next week. I think that we're going to continue to see what Gata is about.
I want to know. I need to know.
We'll see what she says. It might not go too much further from there. I think that Petra her plan will unravel next episode. And we might not even see that much of Michael, because he's going to start going to school and learning a bunch of stuff.
Do you think he's really gonna do it?
I don't know. I mean, it's an idea for now, so we'll see if he does. It would be a good reason as to why he'd be a little absent in the show.
Right, but why would he be absent?
Because he's in school for law.
I mean, but what do you think that would be for his character if he was absent?
Nothing, just something going on with Jane and him not being around. Oh, you're probably right. Probably nothing, but I don't know. And then I think that I think Darcy and Rogelio are not gonna have a baby together.
That was my question that I was thinking of. Do you think that it's actually gonna happen, that we're gonna have another child Yeah, Rogelio. Another child from Rogelio in this show. Like, I don't know. I just can't see it. It would be too complicated. Just like how we don't see the twins, Petra's and Rafael's twins. We don't really see them because the show's just too complicated for extra babies and extra children. I mean, we barely see Mateo. So I'm curious to see how this one's going to unfold. I think... If I had an idea, if my guess would be that, you know, Rogelio realizes that he kind of likes Darcy, and, you know, Darcy said that's not how I roll, and so they're gonna like have a thing and then realize, you know, actually maybe we shouldn't do it, right? We shouldn't do this.
Yikes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
I want to know if Agnieszka is gone. Because, you know, we saw Petra impersonating her at the end.
Saying that she wanted to, and telling her that she wanted to get her the ticket to get out of the country.
Right. So is she really gone, or is she still here? Is this damn twin thing going to keep popping up and taking us for, you know...
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we hated Agnieszka for a really long time, and she's supposed to be the bad person because she put Petra in this coma. However... we also saw that she was just dumb and, you know, wanting love and family, right? That maybe she'll be good now.
And then what about her mom? You know, we've seen the mom, you know, here and there from jail, but she was still controlling Agnieszka. So, you know.
But I feel like now that Agnieszka's free and now she sees how her mom and her sister are, that what if she just decides to, what if she decides to, I don't know, just be good or help Scott out or reach out to him or maybe not. I don't know.
But Petra's been mean to her for this whole time.
Yeah.
So.
And she's still like, my beautiful sister.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but I guess we'll find out next week. Where can they find you on social media?
Y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram at XOXOCESCA.
Excellent. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching our recap back into the season again. Tonight we were talking about chapter 52. We will talk about 53 next week, Avi. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi, on Instagram at the Stephanie Giorgi, and next week here on AfterBuzz TV.
Ciao.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.